Hey, what's up everybody? I know you guys are jumping all around right now, just road gets better in a second. Welcome to Preparedness. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're digging the videos, if you would, do the like, share, subscribe, and comment thing. I really enjoy the comments. Today was going to talk about something that a buddy and I were talking about the other day. Talking with a buddy of mine, and he was talking about how he feels that there's going to be a lot of supplies out there. Okay, now, before you start saying BS or whatever, just follow us here. He said that, and I actually agreed with him, because I had been kind of thinking something along the same lines. There are a lot of people out there that are getting into preparedness. They've tinkered with it for a while, something like that. The only problem is, out of all those people that are tinkering around with it, a small portion of them are actually serious about it. And I've touched on this, I don't know, a month, 6 weeks ago, whatever it was. And I'm kind of talking about it again because I need to kind of stress the importance of this stuff. I feel that too many people are treating this like a hobby, okay? And nothing wrong with treating it like a hobby as long as you're doing it, how can I say this? Hobby, yeah, but like a serious hobby. How about that? Okay? Because, yeah, the reason why you're doing this is you feel that something could happen. You've been through a natural disaster. You've been through something that kind of woke you up, and you're like, hey, we need to maybe do this stuff. Well, it seems like everybody is all about it for like the first couple months, and then things start to taper off. Okay. But he was talking about how he thinks there's going to be a lot of houses out there that are stocked with different things. Okay. You've got the people out there that are all about the food. So they've stockpiled a ton of food. And then you've got the people out there that talk about the medical. A lot of times your nurses, your doctors, if they're into the preparedness, they know how important that is, being that they're in that field. And that is kind of what they hit hardest, right? Not that they're not doing anything else, but that's what they are hitting hardest. And then you got the guys out there, it's all about the gear, right? And they got tons of gear stashed. Here's the only thing. If you don't have all the things, everything you need, it's not going to do you any good, okay? Now, I'm not expecting everybody to go out there and drop 10, 20 grand on everything. No, I'm not expecting that. What I'm trying to say is, set goals, okay, in each of the categories, okay? And you're going to realize that there's a whole lot more categories than you think. You know, everybody talks about beans, bullets, band-aids. Yeah, those are your absolute basics. But then there are subcategories in there that are nuts, okay? So what I'm trying to stress to everybody, get the stuff you need, but make sure you're getting all the stuff. Like the guy that's got all of the ARs and the knives and the magazines and the ammo out the wazoo, but he's got like 2 weeks of food, and, you know, maybe he's got his IFAC for his medical, but that's about it. He's not going to be in too good a shape. Most I hate to say experts, because, I don't know, I'll say it, whatever, you guys know what I'm talking about. most of the people that are really into the preparedness and they've studied it and they've gone over things, typically all agree that the number one killer is not going to be the bad guys coming, it's going to be starvation, okay? And then after starvation, you're going to have things like people getting sick because their hygiene is not up to snuff, they didn't plan on what to do with the poo, they're just drinking water right out of creeks and streams and ponds, they're not filtering it or treating it. So you got starvation, number one. Number two, you're going to have the diseases and the sicknesses and all that, because no antibiotics, all that other good crap, okay? And then down the list, that's when you're going to be worried about taking that bullet, right? Now, I understand also that list can kind of change on where you're living at, okay? If you got somebody that's stuck way out in the boondocks where their closest neighbor's 5 miles away, okay, the odds that the old bullets is going to be the number one killer is actually quite a bit lower, okay, for them. And they might even have food handled, you know, they hunt, they fish, whatever, but, you know, they didn't think about sanitation and they didn't think about medical and all that other stuff, and that tooth that they were going to have worked on is now abscessed and they're getting blood poisoning and they up and die, okay? The septic, you guys know what I'm saying, the blood poisoning bad thing, right? But then if you're talking about somebody who's in a highly populated area, yeah, maybe that possibility of that bullet, it goes up quite a bit, okay, anytime you got people. But as far as the population on as a whole, all the right words, as a whole, going to be that starvation and then your diseases and lack of sanitation. So when you're stockpiling your goodies, when you're learning your skill, and yeah, the skills too. Don't just do all the tactical training so you're a BA with your AR, right? You know, high-speed tactical operator with your AR, but you don't know how to filter water, or you don't know how to grow vegetables, you know, don't know how to hunt. So even with your skills, you got to make sure you're kind of a jack of all trades with this stuff. And also, that's where a group comes in. I know there's a lot of people out there, nope, I'm going to do it myself, I'm good. That's where a group of guys, yeah, that can really help out. Have those guys pick up the slack in areas that are in your preps, and you're picking up the slack in the area that's in theirs. But when you're doing the stockpiling, when you're getting your preps, try to do it in steps. Okay, if you guys have watched my channel, you guys know that for me, I stress 1 year's worth of food for everybody in the house. Now, I know that's a ton. Trust me. Trust me. You guys have watched the channel know I got a bunch of kids. So I know what that is like. Okay, but hold on, traffic. That year's worth of food, I am not just going to be going out and buying food and ignoring everything else, okay? Set little steps for you, okay? Goals. Goal number one, month's worth of food for everybody. Whatever medical, you know, Band-Aids, ibuprofen, all your over-the-counter stuff, your triple antibiotic and all that, have that, you know, basic kit, a little better than basic. And then make sure you have 200 rounds of ammo for your pistol, and yeah, I don't know, 500 for your battle rifle, whatever your and then once you get all that done, then you move up to your second goal. Now you're looking maybe 3 months of food. And now maybe to your medical, you're looking to add tourniquets, gauze, things like that. Your little, not advanced stuff, but a little bit more, okay, over your basic. And as far as your gear, well, now you're adding things like a couple extra mags, load-bearing vest, chest, excuse me, plate carrier, you know, whatever, things like that, kind of moving up in steps. And then after that, you got 6 months of food. And then now you're starting to get a little more advanced with your medical. You're looking at getting the old fish antibiotics, and you're doing some studying on wild medicinals. Actually, wild medicinals, my opinion, that needs to be sooner than step 3, but to each his own. And then for your gear, yeah, and that's when you're, it's like, okay, I've got the stuff. Now we got to make sure I can use it. Get that range time in. I mean, you should be getting range time in all the time, but maybe for that third step, you're up to 500 rounds for pistol, 1,000 rounds for your battle rifle, and you're getting used to it. You're using it. You know where everything's at without having to look and find where the safety's at and where the mag release is at and where all that stuff is. You just know where it's at. But that's what I'm trying to say, guys, is it's all important, but make sure you're doing it in the steps. Yeah, like I said, I kind of agree with him. I think there's going to be houses that have stuff stashed because people were too focused on one or two things, but not all the things. And then once you get into the advanced, yeah, you gotta think about it. There's so much. I can't, and don't get overwhelmed. Please don't get overwhelmed. I mentioned that in videos as far as people that are new to prepping. Don't get overwhelmed. Just take it bite by bite. But yeah, it's like when you're trying to think about everything, it's like, yeah, you got to have soaps, different clothing for different weather. You got to have all the shampoos. You got to have the some place for the poo to go. Where's the poo going? You know, if you're in town, the sewers are probably going to back up. And you got to have protocols in place for that. If you're out in the country, dig a hole, man. But yeah, then you can explore more things like that. But yeah, I really stress trying to get out of that hobby zone. I don't want everybody to spend every last dime they got just on preps. But keep it steady. Maybe that's the best thing. Keep it steady. Like I said, wife and I, we've got the deal that anytime we go somewhere, we purchase one thing that is prepping related. Okay. You know, if I go to the grocery store, I'll pick up another bag of rice. Like I said, 20-pound bag is $9 still. If you go to the gas station, pick up a lighter. You know, it's anywhere you go to Target, Walmart, pick up the toilet paper, the Band-Aids, whatever it is. Just try to do that, and it adds up pretty quick. Yeah, just whenever you go somewhere, just kind of make it. It doesn't have to be a high-ticket item. Just grab what you got to add to your stockpile. So, with that, you know what? Comments. What do you guys think on what we're just talking about here, as far as going to be a lot of houses out there with stuff? A lot of people aren't going to make it because they're too concerned with one area instead of overall. Yeah, always love the comments, guys. For those of you that are new here, love the comments, especially the ones that don't agree with me. It gets that conversation started. You know, be respectful, everybody be nice. Well, I'll be nice. But no, seriously, those people that don't agree with me, it's nice. You can get the conversation started, and then people down the road, look at the videos, check out the comments, and they might get more out of the comments than they do out of the video. And that's what I'm wanting to do here, is just help folks out, break it down. Hopefully they can see it through different eyes. But yeah, make sure you comment. So thanks a lot, guys. We'll talk to you after a while.